All right, so welcome to this student interview. Here I have today with me Eric, and in this interview, he's going to be sharing how he used his channel to drive and build his six-figure business. So Eric, thanks for jumping on. I really do appreciate having you.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Good to see you again.
Thank you, thank you. So the first question I want to ask is maybe you can share with everyone what the name of your channel is and why did you start a YouTube channel in the first place?
Yeah. Our channel is Tech Sales with Higher Levels. And I started it back in the day because about 2.5, 3 years ago, I had just gone through a transition a couple of years prior to go from engineering to tech sales in my own career. And when I looked online for advice about tech sales, there really wasn't any. And so like I got lucky. I had worked in like a pretty technical capacity. So I had people in my network that knew about tech sales and kind of helped me through the interview process. But after I got about 2 years into my career, I was just very tired of seeing videos of people like Grant Cardone and Jordan Belfort. And not that there's anything wrong with them, but it's just not tech sales. And I realized there was a huge opportunity to make a ton of content on tech sales. So that's kind of the origin of why I started. I'm sure you have questions we'll talk about, like how I grew and when we started to work together. But yeah, that's kind of the baseline of where I started. So.
Yeah, perfect. No, and that's what makes total sense. I think just putting out good information is really where the purest form of value comes from. Helping out people that, maybe are behind in the journey that you've already progressed from, I think is absolutely essential. One thing that I did want to ask is now, were you working a job when you were building your channel? Because some people think if I want to do YouTube, I basically have to quit my career and do it full time, which is not always the case. But do you want to share like what your journey looked like in terms of managing your lifestyle as well as actually building this successful channel?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I've been working this entire time. I'm still employed right now. Really, what it's kind of evolved to is, pretty much when I first started, the goal when I got to about 400 subscribers, not really knowing what I was doing. And at that point, I was like, okay, I need to get sharper. There were other creators in the space that were hopping up. And I was doing this basically, my goal was to get at least one video out a week. There were many weeks where I got two. But then I started to realize like if I was going to take this serious, I not only would need to put in that time consistently, but also like need some guidance. Because to be honest, I was like firing from the hip. And so that's when I started to look into different trainings, into different programs to just not only the effort and consistency was there, but I needed to have a strong degree of confidence that the work that I was doing was very productive and effective. And I definitely had not figured that out yet on my own. So yeah, anyway, long-winded answer, but like, yeah, I started working at night and then just kept getting smarter and smarter. And then maybe something we can touch on later as well. But we basically had tons of people in our comments asking for training, asking for all of this. So I started offering paid coaching in my YouTube. And then we've ultimately gotten to the point where YouTube now funnels traffic over almost 99% of our traffic comes from YouTube to our website, higherlevels.com. And that's really like, if we did not have the YouTube, we would not have a successful business. So that was definitely kind of like the cornerstone and super long-winded answer of going from working in my day job to that. But yeah, just giving everyone some perspective on how this has grown. And it's absolutely manageable. It takes work, but it's definitely possible. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think that, like I said, people have this stigma that I can't do both at the same time, which you've proven that if you stay organized and you have a direct path that you feel like you can follow, then you can really make it happen. And like you said, you've been rather successful in your endeavors so far, and this is really just the beginning. You're just still getting going amidst everything, but to be able to have those time management skills and to do both at the same time, I think is absolutely commendable. So that's absolutely great. So now one of the questions that obviously everyone wants to know is, do you mind sharing what your biggest income month has been on the channel so far?
yeah, full transparency, we are growing rather quickly. So I talked to my business partner that I brought in, and aside from a specific monthly number, what I can tell you is last year, which would have been 2023, was our first year as a six-figure top-line revenue business. This year alone, we've already blown past last year's revenue, and we're going to triple. And still to that point, not only is well over 90% of our traffic coming from YouTube to our website, but because we have now invested the time, 2, 3 years worth of consistency building the YouTube presence, we've been able to actually grow rather quickly on platforms like LinkedIn, on Spotify, but it all starts with the YouTube. And those are like, I might add, those are calls to actions in our videos and the things that you teach about in terms of not being afraid to ask people to subscribe. It's been the same thing as we've grown. Hey, we just launched a podcast on Spotify. It would really help us if you go follow. Same thing on LinkedIn. Like we're posting content on LinkedIn. And it really, I think, kind of all started with the YouTube and has allowed us to grow rather exponentially. So I hope, I know everyone's probably looking for like a super specific number, but yeah, again, 6 figures last year for the first time. And we're going to at least triple that, if not more this year. So
Yeah, I mean, that's just a testament to the commitment that you guys have on your channel to putting out that good information, making sure that you're supporting your community. If you didn't hear what Eric said earlier, he said that he was looking at the comments, finding what people needed, and then was supporting them. And that's all that we're really trying to do here, right? Is connect and solve the pain points of others with really valuable information and tactics and strategies to help people just achieve the goals ultimately that they want. And you are basically said that you've been able to drive this 6-figure business with YouTube being one of the primary drivers of traffic. I think that also just speaks to how powerful YouTube and Google ultimately is, right? It's driving a full business just backed on the search rankings, how YouTube is recommending your videos. So that's just how powerful this can all be once you start to actually put in that consistent effort. So thank you for sharing those income figures. And the one thing that I want to kind of wrap up with in this interview, Eric, and thank you for being so generous with your time. What is the best part about running a successful YouTube channel now that you have one?
Well, yeah, I mean, lots of things. I mean, I do think the income is definitely a piece of it for sure. I think the cool thing for us is being in the coaching space, we've been able to drive like significant results. And, for those of you that are in tech, like just for reference, we've gotten several people like broken them into Amazon. We've gotten a lot of people into very high paying jobs. I did want to double tap onto something that you're saying as well, that like selfishly is cool. Do I go out to the bars and like tell random strangers about it? No. But like for anyone looking for proof points right now, like go on YouTube. And also why I'm such a believer in YouTube long term is like if you search tech sales right now, you will see my face on like 6 of the first page results. I challenge you to do that. And like if anything, again, that speaks to the program, that speaks to what Adam is teaching. But like that is one of the coolest things from a business perspective as well, is like I see a lot of our competitors in the sales space and they're on this hamster wheel of having to post on LinkedIn all the time to stay relevant. If you find your niche, if you make a video that really hits and like YouTube recognizes that tons of people like it, that video is going to be relevant for like 5 to 10 plus years. Like videos I have made 2 and 3 years ago now are now still getting tons of clicks, still driving ad revenue, still driving people to our website at higherlevels.com. And I made that 2 years ago and have fundamentally, I mean, sure, I've thought about it, I guess, but like I haven't had to spend any more effort or anything. And it's just free. So I think that that's something that's really hard when you're first getting started. It's like you think going viral will like solve all your problems or having 1 million subscribers. Like at the time of making this video, we have 11,000 subscribers. That's it. Like we literally crossed 11,000 subscribers, like actually today, which is kind of funny. And like we are doing a substantial amount of business through YouTube. And I think, there's no right answer pending your niche and pending the things that you will all talk about. Like those numbers are going to vary for you in terms of what size you should be and all that. But I think people really discount it from one, you don't have to have a large following to have a very successful business. But 2, long term, if you make a very high quality piece of content and you show how to break that down, like that lives forever. That keeps working for you forever. And that's like one of the most exciting things from a purely business perspective is like I make that once and that's working for me for years and I do nothing. So that is very, very cool. But yeah.
Yeah, to be able to just build something once and have it continue to work for you and pay for you forever is basically a very good enticing factor as to why you want to start YouTube. And I think you identifying that and being able to build the business that you have based on the back of YouTube has been absolutely fantastic, Eric. I want to commend your commitment. Thanks for letting me have the pleasure of working with you. And I wish you and Higher Levels the best of success in the future. So thanks for jumping on the interview and we'll catch you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Eric.